Well, it finally hit me about MK Ultra and pain and the gateway to part of your divinity. Why is it that when someone goes through something like MK Ultra or they go through like Hollywood stars or why they go through hazing rituals like in colleges or in the military, why do you think those hazing rituals exist? Why do you think child abuse exists? I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying, why do you think child abuse exists? Why do you think there's so much abuse in this world? Pain is the gateway. And I'm not saying we should inflict pain upon each other, but I think that the pain of development, the pain of maturing, needs to be supported correctly. The gods and humanity have exploited the pathway to our divinity, exploited the pathway to other dimensions, I guess, through MK Ultra, through hazing rituals. They've exploited that to get the best potential out of people. And so this is where the jelly juice comes in, because jelly juice isn't like doing any harm to you, but you still have to experience the pain through it. That's the only way you're going to start seeing something totally new and different and get over the issues that have been plaguing you your whole life. And so this thing with pain, which is why jelly juice is so controversial, is because people have obviously been exposed to pain in such a way that it doesn't serve people because it's been exploited. Pain has been exploited. But then this ought to tell you why MK Ultra and why it works for special ops in the military. Why you see people who are so extraordinary, who has gone through so much shit in their life. Some people don't survive. Some people don't survive the pain out there. You know, and we've heard this. That's why some of these experiments out there that we've heard about through the internet or through the movies, where they've gone through so much torture and so much brain lobotomy type stuff that their humanity has been erased through all of that. But I'm telling you, the jelly juice and dealing with your symptoms, which is a type of pain, is another pathway. And so, so the holistic allopathic world have suppressed your divinity, your part divinity, have suppressed your gateway to the universe because you don't want to feel pain. And so, I could see why then people that look at these articles about child abuse and things like that, which I completely understand, it's horrible. And they liken that to like the jelly juice, I guess the same thing. No. When you're purposely inflicting pain upon someone, knowing that it's not supported correctly, that's a pain that you don't know if that kid or that person's going to survive. It'll be a crapshoot. But when you're doing something like jelly juice and it's supported correctly, and you have to feel your predispositions that are already because of past traumas, because we've all been through trauma in our life, whether it's somebody breaking up with us or somebody purposely hurting us for whatever reason because they're wanting to get that extraordinary ability out of us, or it's because life, has just didn't go your way and you were never taught to deal with it. That's all in your DNA, and that's through ancestors, whether it's a whole group of people discriminate against you or, wars and conflicts and genocide. That's all in our DNA, and we have to deal with that. Do we need to go and revisit it every single time? Well, some people do until it gets out of their system. And that's why you see every year we're always remembering, whether it's the Holocaust or whether it's, Black history or whether it's who knows what, Irish history. We're always remembering because some people have not dealt with that. And then of course, every generation that hasn't dealt with that really then gets re-traumatized. And trauma is a source of control. It really is. But trauma can also be a gateway if it's supported correctly. And so that's why pain is such a weird thing. And that's why then, yes, Hippocrates was put as the god or father of medicine, because he knew how to control humanity. You control their pain and suffering, but you do only just enough to pull out their innovation and then immediately give them an antibiotic to stop the pain. You cure them in the state of their existence. So if they are like someone like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates and they're in pain going through their development, and now they have this amazing idea like Apple or Microsoft or vaccines or viruses, and then they're still in pain, then you give them a cure to stop it, but that cure cures them in the state they're in, so that way they can still keep producing until the body gives out. That's why the cures, because the cures are freezing people in the state of their existence, so that way they can then pull the most innovation out of you. So I understand now why cures are what they are, and then why pain exists, and why they do, why we see such a combination in our society where we have so much child abuse and so much abuse to people, and hazing rituals and colleges. I mean, right there, this should tell you something. You know, the conundrum of college, where you have the teenagers that are drinking so much, and then they're doing these crazy things to each other to get into their fraternities, and then the military as well, where you're being forced to go through hell in the military in basic training, because it builds character, and that pain brings out the innovation. And then even when you go to special ops, or you're like in the Marines or any of those fighting units, you go through even more pain and torture. And so that's why I could deal with the JJs. I've been through a lot of pain in my life. Oh, let me tell you, I've been through a lot of fucking pain in my life. So that's why I'm able to do JJs. And that's why I can't understand why people can't do JJs, but they haven't had my history. I've been through some shit, not which I want to go into any great detail. But I'll tell you what, the pain that you go through in your life, the hardships that you go through, yes, it builds character, but can you survive them? That's the whole point. That's why JJs is so important, that yes, you go through hell of bringing up every past PTSD that's in your DNA, but it's being supported correctly. And then, my God, you're going to come out of it like you're a totally different person. Some of you have been so lucky that you haven't had to deal with so much pain. I don't call it lucky, but then there's no character built. When you have everything given to you and nothing, you don't feel any pain and no hardship, then you're just going to go and live to excess. You're going to think everyone's like that, and you're going to go live, like, look at the Hollywood star kids. Some of them have gone through some shit, yes, because yes, they put it on themselves. But what are they going to achieve? They've already made it. They've already made their money, right? They was given to them. They inherited it. Maybe they go and invest in some new invention that they can say, oh yeah, I invested into Tesla, and now Tesla's so wonderful. And so that's their claim to fame. But do they really think of an original thought of their own, or they piggyback off of somebody else? I'm not saying that everyone should have an original thought, that we all can definitely make whatever system's out there better. But I want to understand I want you to understand what pain is. It is a gateway, but it must be supported correctly. And so it just dawned on me. And so that's another thing I need to write about, is the fact that how pain has been exploited in our society. And then the antibiotics then cure you into that state until your body gives out. And that's why living indefinitely in immortality is not really on the table for a lot of people, because they can't handle pain. They were not taught to handle pain. They're adverse to pain. A lot of ways, I'm a glutton for punishment. I purposely do the hard shit. I want to see if I survive it. But I'm not stupid either. Then I looked up Homer. Too, and he actually is a mystery. Oh, fancy that. If you watch my prior video about the Iliad and the Odyssey, I haven't read it yet, but I did talk about why that should be a book to read if you're on the J-Juice, especially if you're on the J-Juice. He was a man of mystery. There's two sides of what people think he is. He think he was a god, or maybe a god or a man, or he was a group of people. I think Homer was actually a god. I think Homer came down and watched how humans and the gods all went at each other's throats and did all the wars and everything else. And he wrote about it. And he gave mankind an actual unfiltered, but through his perception, he could have been a god. The rendition of antiquity. And again, Greek mythology is Greek reality. It ain't mythology. And pain is one of the things that the gods use to build up mankind and to bring up the innovation, the knowledge, the gifts that mankind has that has been suppressed because the gods gave us their divine biochemistry that came from the stars. Yes, the acids, the gases, the protons, the electromagnetism, the viruses, all of that is our divinity that has been suppressed. And the reason why it's been suppressed because you don't want to feel pain, which makes so much freaking sense why Hippocrates says, oh God, do no harm. We can't have anybody in pain, only just enough so we can get you to be at a certain level, and then we'll give you an antibiotic to cure you. Now I fucking get it. Oh my God, I get it. And it hit me when I was talking about, when I was talking in my video about something that people don't want to feel pain. And I'm like so used to pain. I'm so used to being tortured by people. I'm so used to being, bullied. I'm so used to being attacked. I'm so used to having people think I'm so stupid and different and that they insult me in so many different ways. I'm used to it, so I can handle it. And hey, Lily and Ellison, and I can deal with it. And it drives me to do better. No wonder my mother called me a survivor. I mean, at some point, do I get to graduate from surviving Vietnam? Did I survive all of my childhood? Is that what I'm a survivor from, is my childhood? Probably. Oh, probably. So what doesn't kill you is going to make you stronger has so much merit to it. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And you have to understand the chemistry behind it. And so that's why the CIA does all these, does all these MK Ultra experiments on humans because they want to see how much pain could a person endure without killing them and see how much divine potential they have to offer to the world. Holy crap. So this is something to understand. But the gods, they knew this shit. And that's how they shaped mankind and their belief systems. And then they control them through the different churches and the different religions. I have to be honest with that. I'm thinking that yes, Homer was the actual Homer, and his epics were the actual unfiltered book through his eyes, through the God's eyes, on the renditions and the key to mankind and humanity and what humanity went through way before a lot of things. The Bible was used as a tool, yes. I get it. There are definitely aspects of the Bible that are very, very true. But there's a reason why it's so proliferate. And you have to understand why things are so easy to come by and why things are harder to come by. Not very well understood. Or why you have to pay college to understand why you would read Homer and Iliad and the Odyssey. Why, yes, that Harvard and Yale and Oxford, Stanford and Berkeley, they have all these higher education in philosophy. If you get a degree in Hellenistic studies or a degree in philosophy from Harvard and Yale, yeah, you're learning about antiquity, but through an allegory, mythological is a philosophy, but not as a reality. And then you have your religion that like Catholic, Christian, Jewish, whatever, and those two are actually side by side. If anything, they're intermingled, but you've been compartmentalized. You're like, I'm reading about Homer, I'm a history major, and I'm a Greek mythology major and a philosophy major, and then I go to church. Okay. That's how compartmentalized our society is. And that's why humans don't understand their divine potential. And that's why people can't handle pain. Because they were never taught to. Because if you did understand pain, you did understand the pathway and the gateway to another opportunity in life. If they understood that, we would have so many people who'd be peaceful and not easily controlled. But you can't control me through pain. I could deal with a lot of fucking pain. Oh, I could deal with a lot of pain. Some of you can't, and that's why you only go so far in life, because you choose not to feel or heal. And that's why evolution is not for everybody, because they're not strong enough. And that I get. All right, bye.